Live and in color from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport in Texas. It's Runway DFW, the new YouTube channel dedicated to bringing you live action from one of the world's busiest airports. My name is Walt Zwerko. We've got a squelchy radio there, and we are here to bring you, an hour or so worth of action from DFW Airport. And I'm so glad that you could tune into us today. So we'll get rid of that. We'll add that in. We will let you know, in case you're watching this on video delay, that this is Friday, January 7th, 2022, and it's just noon here in Dallas-Fort Worth, Central Time. So wherever you are from around the world, welcome on in. Well, what have we in store for you today? We just saw before we went on the air, a UPS 747 soared into the skies, so I'm sorry we couldn't bring you that. We were supposed to have a Qantas cargo plane departing at this hour, but last time I checked the flight schedule, it looked like that had been canceled. So, what do we got? Well, we got a bunch of American and American Eagle flights coming in, as you would expect here at DFW Airport, because this is the major hub of those two airlines, or American Airlines and its subsidiary. So we will be on the lookout for anything that looks interesting. Coming across the bridge from the other side of the airport. We're on the west side of DFW Airport, and that aircraft is coming over from the east side. And I don't have a bead on it yet as far as what it is. We've got a certain amount of not only haze, but you can see kind of the ground, the waves of heat coming up from the ground. We had a pretty hard freeze overnight, but the ground is still relatively warm because it's been so warm, unseasonably warm here over the past few weeks. So when it does get cold, the heat kind of retains that, or the ground kind of retains that heat, and it kind of provides us with this kind of artistic look, not very sharp, but artistic look at aircraft from far away. That, of course, is a Delta flight. We have coming in here an American flight. We will tell you where it's from in just a second. That's coming in from Indianapolis, flight 1506, a Boeing 737-800. We'll shift our focus back over to the flight line here at runway 18 left. And yes, this Delta flight is approaching. There it is. This is Delta flight 823 on its way to Minneapolis, St. Paul. It's going pretty fast. It's going to make a big U-turn here and head off to the Twin Cities. They don't call Dallas and Fort Worth the Twin Cities for some reason. It's probably too much rivalry. It's an A220-100 aircraft. And there's nothing in its way, so it looks like it's going to make the final left-hand turn and soar into the skies here on Runway DFW. Thanks for tuning in. It's a Sky West plane. I'll tell you where it's coming from in just a second. And that's CRJ 701ER coming in from Colorado Springs. It's a Sky West operating as American Eagle Flight 3058. Well, next up we've got another American Eagle flight. A CRJ 900. This is going to be on its way to Fargo. It's flight American Eagle Flight 5743, operated by Mesa Airlines. We do get some Mesa aircraft which are painted in Mesa colors, and some which are decked out in American Eagle colors. Meanwhile, we're going to zoom out and get another American flight. This one's an A321 coming in from Las Vegas, flight 882, American Airlines, the parent company. So yeah, I do apologize for that kind of impressionistic look of the aircraft as they get farther and farther away, but that's just a factor of the ground conditions here. It's, as you can see, it's a nice sunny day, just a few high clouds sprinkled in the sky. The wind is coming in from the south, probably about 10 miles an hour, and the temperature is in the mid-30s Fahrenheit, which is just a little over 0 degrees Celsius. Is it Celsius or centigrade? I can never remember what the current term is that's accepted around the world. Well, as I was saying, we did see a 747 earlier this hour, or I guess last hour. I got some shots of it in 4K, which we'll try to put up on our site later on. Over here is the just to the south of us from our viewpoint at this is DFW Founders Plaza, which is as you can see, a parking area and a picnic spot. People come out here and just like to watch planes. For serious plane spotters and just people who want to kind of grab their lunch and look at some planes coming in and out. You can see a UPS MD-11 there in the front. And I can't see, is it tight, is it packed up yet, or I don't see the door open. So I don't know, maybe we'll get lucky and see this tri-engined jet take off. I always like to see that. As we've noticed before, at least the ones I've seen coming up or taking off from DFW, those MD-11s, they almost go straight up. They got a lot of bounce in them. What are we looking at over here? Well, it's an American Airlines plane, I know that. This is a landing over on the east side of the airport, and it just disappears over there. Not much more we can see there, so we kind of have to focus on the flights that come in and out of the west side. That was a flight from Santa Ana, California, American Flight 1382, a Boeing 737-800. Let's see. Checking out the radar. It's looking a little quiet. How are you all today? Let me take a look, see if anybody's written on into us. Yehuda's asking, how are you today? I am fine. It's a little cold here, but it is bright and sunny, so that helps. Yehuda also wants to know which airline has hubs at DFW. Well, as we said before, the main airline here, the dominant airline here, is American Airlines and American Eagle. American has its headquarters at DFW. They have exclusive dominion over 3 of the 5 terminals here, if that tells you anything. So yeah, up between 80 and 90% of all the traffic here is coming from American and American Eagle. So that's why we see so many American flights. We thank you to M. Billy, who has just subscribed to Runway DFW. Thank you so much. We will provide as much coverage as we can. M. Billy says, I do watch some airplane streamers who are from Los Angeles, and they do streams at LAX. And yes, I watch them too. I watch LA Flights and Airline Videos Live, and they do some really, really great work. And I recommend them to everybody who hasn't checked them out yet. MTF Gamma 6 is saying, good morning from Reno. Hello, Reno. How are you out there? Here's a question, if there's any Q400s coming to DFW. I guess I'm not familiar with that terminology. I'll have to look that up. So, pardon me for not recognizing what you mean by that, but I'll try to check that out when I get some downtime. What you're looking at there is the east tower, the east control tower there on the kind of the center right of your screen. And those tails there are parked at Terminal A, I think it is. All right, back to the action here. There's American Eagle Flight 3649 coming in from Laredo in Embraer 145. Some of you may be wondering, where are all the jumbo jets? And we don't see too many of them here at the moment. British Airways will be flying its A380 into here starting in March. And so we hope to be out here for that event. That'll be the first 380 that has been here since Qantas suspended its service from down under. There's American Flight 420 coming in to the east side of the airport from Washington National Airport, where they've had some pretty bad weather the last few days. A lot of flights canceled. A lot of connections unmade. So I'm sure there's some passengers on that flight who are happy to get here. Scoot over to the international terminal, see if we see anything of interest. Terminal D is the international terminal. That's the building there. The sunlight is deceiving because it just seems so hazy, and looking across there, the Terminal D is about a mile and a half away from where we are right now. I see Video Blacksmith has just subscribed to Runway DFW, and we thank you for that. As you may know, if you watch these channels, I'm looking for a plane here, which was moving. There it is. As you watch, if you watch any of these plane spotting channels, you know that we count on your support by just kind of subscribing to our channels and liking our content. That helps us get noticed by our YouTube overlords, who in turn can recommend our channel to others. That looks to me like a Viva Aero bus with its colorful bubbles on the tail. One of the international carriers here at DFW. Haven't been able to divert my attention to the radar screen to see where it's going. I know they typically fly to Monterey and Mexico City from here. So anyway, yeah, if you'll like us and subscribe to Runway DFW, that'll help us a lot to grow and to help other aviation enthusiasts like you find us in all the content that's available on YouTube. Our Sunday show was getting, last Sunday, our broadcast was getting people from all around every corner of the globe, virtually, from the Indian subcontinent to the UK. And we're very grateful to all of you for tuning in. For some reason, I'm not seeing this particular aircraft on my radar screen, so I can't tell you where it's going. I just know it's leaving from here. Viva Aerobus being a low-cost carrier based in Mexico, which has been doing quite well. They've got a pretty young fleet of aircraft. And it's about to take off from runway 18 left on runway DFW. Into the Texas afternoon sun. Here's an A319 American Flight 2448, which is about to lift off for Reno. We're streaming today in 720p because that's really the best reliable quality we can get using the technology that we have at hand. We are making a 1080p recording of this locally, and so we hope to post that higher quality version later on Runway DFW's YouTube channel. Away we go. If you're just joining us, welcome to Runway DFW. We'll be with you for the next, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes or so. Another aircraft I can't pick up on my radar here. Can't tell you where it's going, at least not at the moment. But it looks like there's nothing in the way for it to be taking off momentarily. DFW Airport has a total of 7 runways. We get a clear shot of 2 of them here, 18 left and 18 right. This is on the west side of the airport. There's also kind of a crosswind runway on this side, which we also can't see. And on the other side, there's 3 parallel north-south runways, plus another crosswind runway. And the air traffic controllers generally bring in the planes from the west and taking off to the west here on this side and vice versa on the east. But that's not a universal rule, and that just depends on what the flight load is and what the traffic patterns are. There was a couple of days around Christmas time when these runways over here were just shut down. There was no traffic whatsoever. We were told that there was an air traffic control personnel shortage on the West Tower for a day or two, with COVID being one of the reasons. Now this looks to be American Flight 1380, an A321 headed to Las Vegas. And again, if you're not familiar with DFW Airport, yes, you're going to see lots of American aircraft and American Eagle aircraft because they totally dominate this aircraft, kind of in the way that Delta dominates Atlanta. But we'll show you all the aircraft that come and go. We get a lot of cargo in here. Probably not so much around lunchtime because those flights tend to be early morning, late evening kind of comings and goings. When we're here for our morning programs, to get that roar in there. When we're here for our morning programs, we do get a lot of cargo flights, UPS, FedEx, Cathay Pacific, Air China cargo, Atlas Air. But this is generally not the time of day we see those. Got American Flight 1850. It's an A319 going to Durango. Oh, but before that, wait a minute, maybe this is the... That might be the Durango flight. Somebody take off. That looks to be the, well, I'll find out in a second. Anyway, we tend to not have the, and that was the Durango flight there, but we tend to not have the volume of jumbos that you'd see at an LAX or probably a Miami or a San Francisco, and I'm not sure why that is, and it could just be somewhat a reflection of where we are as far as international flights go and COVID and all that stuff. We've got a bunch of aircraft coming in for activities here on the north side. Like they're having a race. We now have a parade of aircraft, and we're just going to show them taking off on Runway DFW. That was flight 1992 to Seattle, American flight 1992. Got a Star Alliance livery, Avianca. Got some coming and going action there for you. That's Avianca. That was Avianca flight 440 coming in from San Salvador. And the action is not stopping right now. That was American Flight 1385 taking off for, where's that gone? Oh, Los Cabos in Mexico. One of the top international destinations from this here airport. Thanks everyone for tuning in to Runway DFW. What do we got for you now? Looks like an E175. American Eagle Flight 3941 to Boise in Idaho. Getting ready to blast off. Hello, Bob Bell. Thank you for watching us all the way from Ohio, and Daniel from Wisconsin. It's cold here, but I know it's probably colder in Wisconsin and Ohio. We kind of don't know what to do when it gets cold here in Texas. A fellow plane spotter over there. I bet he gets some pretty good shots with that lens. I see on the comments we got people who are watching along with us. Some of them are spotting along with Flight Radar or whatever app they use to identify the position of planes. Here comes an American Eagle. This is American Eagle Flight 3515 coming in from Monterey. Let's go back to the flight line here and see what we got coming up. Those two are waiting, but I think this guy's going to get the call. I think. No, somebody else ahead of that. Well, if you like American and American Eagle, you've come to the right place here at Runway DFW. Looks like this is flight 4205. It's going to be going into Del Rio, Texas. It's an Embraer 145. Getting a lot of glare off my new bigger monitor today. I wish I had one of those big hoods. You ever see those old pictures of photographers with the plate cameras that were, they kind of put that hood over their head so they could focus on the ground glass. It's from a previous time. Well, I wish I had one of those hoods. In fact, I've got a blanket in the car. Maybe I'll throw that over here. Cut down on the glare. Probably cut down on the wind noise too. Would kind of cut down on my peripheral vision though. Kind of need peripheral vision to see what's coming. That's out of the corner of your eye. Plane must have been fairly heavily laden to go down the runway that far. Another American Eagle heading off for parts unknown from runway 18 left. When it's cold out, sometimes my lips don't work so well. Here is an A321. American 1939 blasting off for San Diego, sunny San Diego. Where it's always 72 degrees and sunny, am I right? There's an American Eagle flight 4023 coming in from Knoxville, Tennessee. And the hits just keep on coming. We've got a, is it SkyWest or Mesa Air? It's like SkyWest. That CRJ 701 ER was headed to Harlingen, Texas. We'll swing around here, pick up a flight coming in from Phoenix, American Flight 431. As you can see, we've got a nice, clear, unobstructed view of runways 18 left and 18 right. But while the view is unobstructed, we do have, we don't get as close to the action as the plane spotting sites at some other airports are. And that was Flight 671, an A321 American Airlines coming in from San Diego. We just saw one take off to San Diego. San Diego? Nah. Okay, we got a couple of 321s there. One is going to Palm Springs, the other is going to an unspecified location, at least according to flight radar. Seems kind of like rush hour here at DFW Airport. But we're not complaining because we've been here some days when there are periods of nothing happening. So if I don't have time to look over to my radar and see what's going on, I'll just take pictures of aircraft. That's what you came here to see anyway, right? So we've got a flight coming in from Burbank, flight 2599, 737-800. So some lunchtime plane spotting for y'all. Yeah, we have American Flight 2626 coming in from Santa Ana. And there, with the city of Dallas skyline behind it. We've got our next departure. Meanwhile, coming in from Los Angeles, it's American Flight 2459. Los Angeles, one of the top, usually right at the top of the board for destinations from DFW. Last time I looked on Flight Radar, it looked like it had been surpassed in the past few days by LaGuardia in New York as the top domestic destination. And that flight was off to Oklahoma City, flight 2434. And we've just got a couple left before we have to bid you adieu for this Friday afternoon. Coming in from Ontario, California, flight 1534, American Airlines, an A321, touching down right at 12:59 Central Time. And that's going to about do it for us here at Runway DFW for this Friday lunchtime event. We are so glad you could spend a few minutes of your day with us. We hope very much that you will like and subscribe to our little channel here so that we can continue bringing you content multiple times a week from DFW International Airport. So yeah, if you like what you see, I'm glad that you were able to do a lot of commenting today. Got a couple comments. Raymond Tolley says he'd rather fly into DFW and change planes than anywhere else. I guess I find that a little, I don't know. I haven't done a lot of changing planes or changing flights at DFW because usually I always originate here and leave from here. Adrian says thanks for the live, and Adrian says great content. Hugo says thanks for the stream. Tony Earl says thanks as well. Abbas wants us to wait for the Eva 777. When is that coming in? Let me look at my radar real quick. Okay, we got an Eva Air cargo. It's coming in from Anchorage. It's a 777 in its distinctive green livery. Yeah, we'll hold off for that. That's a good idea. Give you something other than American Airlines planes to look at on this edition of Runway DFW. We'll be seeing that big guy coming in from the north, and here it is. Eva Air Cargo. Thank you for the suggestion. coming in from Anchorage. Eva Air Cargo. 777. Okay, that's a good way to end. That's a great way to end our broadcast. I like that. So there you go. That's another edition of Runway DFW. We should be back on the weekend, Saturday or Sunday. I don't know. It depends on what the weather's going to be like. So let me do that. Play some music. And that's it for this edition of Runway DFW. We're so happy you were here with us, wherever you are in the world. And as we say here in Texas, happy contrails to you until we meet again. Thanks everybody, and see you next time. Bye-bye.